Hello, friends, and welcome to Snap Judgments. This is Glazer. We are Roy free. We are Gunny free, although Gunny's coming back soon. We are even Nick free, even though this is the time Nick said he would definitely be available. However, we are joined instead by a new Marvel Snap great. We got Jesse Hoagie. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Jesse Hoagie. I usually stream Marvel Snap over on Twitch. Sometimes stream Magic the Gathering stuff, but lately it's been Marvel Snap. Sometimes I post videos on YouTube. I'm usually the type of person that will take some decks, improve them, and see if I can kind of fit in some certain cards, whatever meta I'm in. I've been playing Snap for a couple years now since it came out, kind of off and on, and just most recently started focusing on streaming it.
Awesome. Well, we're really happy to have you. You've been a really, really great voice in the community. Also, by the way, because no one can spell your name just based on how it sounds, could you spell your name quickly so people can follow you?
Sure, it's Jesse Hogie, like the sandwich. Although sometimes hoagie has Hoagie, I guess.
Yeah, I was like in the Northeast, hoagie definitely has an A in it. That is not how I would.
It
That's why I was
does.
like double checking. All
And
right,
that's where I'm from too.
fair, fair. Can I ask what state?
I'm in New York, upstate New York.
Oh, nice, cool. Yeah, I was in New York for my whole life, although downstate New York. All right, we also have everyone's favorite big cat regular guest, Cougar. Hi, Cougar.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Cougar, who are you? What are you about?
I'm a pretty competitive Marvel Snap gamer. I do occasionally stream on Twitch TV, not as much as I would like to, but with my college season just ending, expect to see me a little more over this holiday season. Similarly to Jesse's name, it's a little hard to spell. It's Cougar, Coougarrr, two O's, three R's, as Glazer would say. But yeah, I'm constantly in the top 10, top 20, and like to cook a lot of unique decks.
Cool. And we are Snap Judgments Pod. You can find us on Snap Judgments Pod on YouTube, which might be the only place this goes out. Riverside has completely broken. Thanks for charging us all that money and never working Riverside. Really appreciate you. So, in the meantime, Snap Judgments Pod over on YouTube, Pulse Glazer on Twitch, where we record this live. If you're interested in checking out Twitter, well, first, delete your Twitter. But if you decide not to, it is Snap Judge Cast there because we didn't brand well. And that's that. We have a TikTok that actually has videos coming out. It's also Snap Judgments Pod. Thanks, Brady, for posting videos there all the time. So if you're interested in seeing some shorts of either me or Brady playing Snap Pending, they will be there too. Today, we're going to talk about the January season because I'm really excited for the January season. Um, I think Marvel Snap has released a lot of powerful cards lately, but I haven't been the most interested in them because I think they're sort of just what Marvel Snap has become to me, and I'd like to discuss this quickly if you're both willing, is a pure points game. It's just seeing how tall any deck can get, and there's very little pulling anything back to center. Has that been your experience, Jesse, or are you seeing something different?
Oh, that's 100% my experience. It's like even when you have tech cards, sometimes it doesn't matter, like because someone could have something in the back row, so your Cosmic Ghost Rider doesn't hit it, or you have something small that your Red Guardian's going to hit that instead, and you're just not going to have enough points. Like you could have a move deck or something, and now with Human Torch being nerfed a little bit, even that's not putting up enough points. So even straight up bullseye discard these days, which I love to play, doesn't seem to put up enough points.
Husky? I said Husky. Sorry, I read Husky's name on my screen. Cougar?
I know what you meant. I have a similar-ish experience. I think I live in fear a little bit of the boogeyman Shadow King. He's still around a lot, and then at a ramp decks, you could expect a fair amount of interaction there. But outside of those two, which Shadow King's really only Victoria hand, the occasional other decks, yeah, it's mostly just been a points v points game for me.
So Shadow King actually did a decent job in the move meta of keeping things under control for me. And then when move went away and the ramp deck became like sort of the meta deck, the Smiles deck, I feel like Shadow King lost a lot of value. It's still good against Chamber, right? But like that deck puts up so many points in other ways that like if you're playing a 3-4 at the end of the game, and I'm playing like several 14 power cards, I'm usually feeling pretty good about my chances. Uh, at the I think we need some kind of reset, something to pull us back towards center. Because, I mean, we just got a big point ceiling card, right? Like we got Adamantium Infusion. We're about to get a card that goes with that in Fastball Special. We got Man Spider last season, right? We got whatchamacallit. We just got a like 314 in Weapon H that we're going to talk about momentarily. We also ended up with like next week is Maverick, who's another like giant point ceiling scaler. I feel like it's just point scaler after point scaler after point scaler.
Yeah, not too many tech cards nowadays. I think the last two were probably CGR and then the one cost skill. I can't, the name's blanking me, but those kind of
Nothing cord.
removability effects. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm very curious to see if there becomes a tipping point. Um, if there becomes a tipping point that like it really becomes a problem, right? Like for players more than like at top ELOs who care about this that way, where it becomes a problem for casual people, where like the lack of interaction and in so many games just being like go tall, go tall, go tall is like not looked upon favorably.
Yeah, and I imagine I don't know, I can't truly speak to this, but I imagine outside of like the top circle, it probably has to be more points v points decks matchups than it is up here at the top. I imagine like players in my bubble are running a lot more interaction than average.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still in like the 80s. I haven't even hit infinite yet, and it's 100% points. Like there is no interaction, there's no tech anywhere.
it's such a weird
Yeah, that's
feeling.
kind of what I would expect.
Like it just it's hard to overstate and people are gonna be like, you're complaining too much about this. I don't care. I'm gonna complain about this. If you don't like it, I'm very sorry. But like it's hard to overstate how different this is than Marvel Snap for the first 3 years of its life. Like for the first 3 years of its life, Marvel Snap was a game that was defined by its tech, defined by nine being the best point, eight for a while, and then nine being the best point total you could have because it avoided Shang, and then defined by like what other tech pieces were the most prominent and how you played around them and what you did in order to like counter them and play with them and against them, right? And that's just not what Marvel Snap is anymore. It's a different game. It's a fundamentally differently designed game than it was 3 months ago. And I think that a lot of the community is overlooking exactly how different the game is, exactly what has changed in it.
Yeah, it's true, and it's definitely been an interesting shift too because it's weird. Like sometimes you can go on runs with these lower to the floor decks where you're playing against other tech gamers or mid-rangey gamers for me, but then you get the discard matchup or this or that where if you just don't have interaction, they're gonna do 30-30-20 and it's gonna be really hard to beat.
Yeah. So like I really enjoy Surfer, right? And Maverick will probably make Surfer a deck. But Surfer just doesn't put up enough points, right? Like it's wild, but like you do everything right in Surfer, and a lot of the time you'll hit like all of your nut hits, and you'll still be like, oh, they just have 10 more points than me in every lane. Not 2 more points, right? Marvel Snap used to be a game where like almost every game was decided by 1 or 2 points in one lane. I feel like there's a lot fewer games where that's the case.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of
Definitely.
people are just focusing on like these big decks are just focusing on two lanes now.
Hmm.
Like they say, okay, these you pick these two lanes, and no matter what you do, your deck isn't going to go over them in those two lanes, so you pretty much lose already.
Yeah. And as far as like the direction the game's going, I'm personally, I don't really mind it too much. Like I'm not in like I'm not against the nerfs to all the tech. I did think they overstepped it, but they brought it back a little bit. But I do want to say, like with the Silver Surfer that you just brought up, I wish decks like that, decks like Standard Affliction that used to run Zabu, I wish decks like that would be buffed to kind of keep up with everything else with the destroys and the discards that are getting these new released cards. Like I posted on KM's hot takes on
Hmm.
Twitter. I feel like U.S. Agent can afflict -4. Hazmat can go back down to 2/2. They could give Zabu his point back. I feel like they could do so many things to nudge these decks towards being more viable.
Yeah, if they brought a lot of those back, it would definitely feel a lot more viable for sure.
So like this is so cynical, but I'm at a point where I honestly think they're not going to because they can't sell us Surfer again.
Yeah, it's very true.
Like we bought Surfer, we
Uh,
bought Ajax. Like they, uh, I knew Move was going to get nerfed the second I saw that there was a Move season. It's like they're going to make this really strong for a season, then they'll nerf it. Like Destroys, I would almost bet going to take a really strong nerf at the end of this season.
In what
yeah, I'd
part?
be
Like, what
curious
do
to
you think
see.
where it was?
I
Where's it
have
gonna hit? Like, I
whatever,
don't know what it would be able to hit.
whatever ends up really good. At the end of the season,
Hmm.
something with fastball special and infusion is going to end up really
Oh
good.
yeah,
And like
Like a
when
Nimrod deck.
yeah, whatever the fuck that is going to take a hit. However, right, like they'll make each cost one more, right? They'll make infusion 5 and fastball 3 or something like that. And like then you'll have to do extra things to combo off and it won't be as good. There'll be stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like there and then it'll be like what's next season? Well, we're going to talk about that, but like whatever ends up best there, they'll sell that to us and then I think they'll nerf it because that seems to be what they do lately. Like they didn't have to nerf zombies because they just released stuff that was more powerful than zombies. Like every time I see zombies now, I feel so comforted. Like I can beat. Like I'm just gonna like that's a package where we're playing fair, and I can go over the top of you.
yeah. They had to buff zombies, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I actually think Zombies was one of the funner seasons I had. But yeah, not to interrupt you, I'll let you take it, Glazer.
It's fine. We're just gonna enough of that area. Let's hop on to Weapon H, who is a 714, the card that came out this week. When discarded, put this back with -2 cost. Jesse, what do you think of it?
So I was incredibly high in this card because I play discard. That's like my bread and butter, and I'm a little disappointed now. You know, it didn't have the impact I thought it would. I played like I basically just did a swap and put it in good old reliable discard, like with Dracula and Apocalypse and stuff, and it didn't really do what I thought it was going to do. Usually, it was the most of the time it was only like a 5 power, so I it was very rarely where I got it down to 3 or even 1 where I could drop more than one thing on turn 6. But I was not as impressed with it as I thought I would be. I don't think it hit as much as I thought.
I thought when he came out, I was like, this card seems strong, but I don't know what exact home he wants to go into because you want to discard him a bunch, but the standard discard deck was already getting kind of full. He's not a bullseye card, he's not a Hela card. He maybe is a Black Knight card, but then you're not targeting Infinite. And I didn't experiment too much with him since he came out, but I did play a lot of the standard discard package, and I do really like him there. Like the zombie power man and just maximal amount of discards in your hand. This guy's really strong.
Yeah, he's in the basic discard deck, right? And he's a reasonable power up for just like
Mhm.
pure discard. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure that version's better, but it is different. Like if you're not running Dracula, you can run Swarm again, and now you have an extra 0/6 in the list, and stuff like that does work, does make the deck good, that like better in some ways. It also makes the deck have slightly lower point ceiling because Apocalypse Dracula was like a 30 power lane that the opponent would often just abandon. Um, I don't know. I think he's fine. Like it's weird that they released what amounts to be a 314 and it's just a fine card, but that's how he feels to me right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly. I think
personally,
he's good.
oh my bad, Jesse. But personally, I was gonna say I'm running him, Conchu, and Apoc and Dracula all in the same deck. So I'm running a pretty high curve one. But like you said, I think he's good. He's definitely strong. I don't think I could say he's necessary.
Yeah, exactly. I'm think I'm running the exact same deck you are, and he was more like the 13th card for me. I think I always seem to not get him below 5 cost almost every game.
Yeah, if he's 5 cost, he's bad, right? Like there's just no way you want to play him if he's 5 cost. At that point, you're better off playing Apocalypse or Dracula and stuff. Um,
I think the only time you do is off Corvus ramp. That's the only thing that makes it
Yeah.
feel okay.
Yep.
Do we think the discard and destroy decks might want him?
Uh, I think that asks too much.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think it's too high of a curve and too much to get him down to be able to be playable past like the 5 cost to really make an impact. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be any other combos that I'm not seeing that on those kind of hybrid decks.
Yeah. My working theory is that those are just like Black Cat and I always forget the name of the stupid 2/3. 2/3 discards Agatha.
Redshift.
Um Redshift. Okay. So Redshift and Black Hat feel to me like they'll be the only two discard cards, and it'll just otherwise be a destroy deck for that particular deck.
Really, I feel like Killmonger, Luna Snow, and late game Gambit is where I just named two destroys. My bad. I think just Gambit. Yeah, Gambit is where my mind goes to. I jumped ahead to the other side.
So Gambit won't trigger the destroy part. You have to destroy one of your cards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know
oh,
that's only half the
okay,
puzzle, but I'm saying
yeah,
for the discard
yeah,
side, Gambit's what I imagine being the best enabler
yeah.
for that
Like
archetype.
my my working theory is that you just want to like Gambit and Weapon H on the last turn of the game, and then you like just activate all your other shit, and you're done. You've got all of a sudden like a 211 and then a 314 Gambit blowing things up, and then you got like a 418. What's scary is I don't know if that's enough points. Like even if it does the thing, I don't know if that's enough points.
I
Yeah,
don't
like
think it would be.
I don't think it would either. Like if we're just talking like activating Phantom X and getting your +5 or +4 onto Wild Child, probably not enough.
Scary. All right. Well, so Weapon H decent, probably a little overrated in hindsight. All good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the January season, which I am really curious about because I think this season is interesting and has several insane cards. Um, the first of which is I think this one's going to actually be surprisingly good. This is Shu Lao the Undying. He is a season pass card, 5/10. On reveal, give the last character you played +2 power for each turn you played two or more cards. And obviously, he can give +0, but he can also end up giving, if you can somehow play two cards every turn, he can give +10 to the last card you play. It's reasonably likely that he's going to give +4 or +6. What do we think of him, Jesse?
Yeah, he's interesting because I was trying to think of like how often you're gonna get 2 cards every turn to really get the most out of him. And if you do go to like turn 7, you could possibly get the 12 power.
Mm,
Um, and his body is just a 5/10, so that's nothing to really to scoff at. He kind of feels like he might be a combo with Thena, depending on the deck you put him in, because she's +2 power if you play 2 cards. Um, but I mean, it's definitely
+3 for
nothing.
her. +3.
Yeah, +3. So that's a lot of, that's a lot of power. Um, but I don't see it, just like you said, I don't see it going to that 10 or 12 if you go to turn 7. It's definitely more of a 4 or 6, and depending on like what it hits, you could combo off and put like, like a Shaw or something or a Brood or whatever, and really pump it up. But I think it's going to be definitely a fun card to build with because there's so many ways that you could combo off with it and give whatever power you want, and it's definitely opens up a lot.
Oop.
I think that this guy's ability is a little bit middling, but he's on a really strong body. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
many 5/10s in the game, and the ones that we do have tremendous downside. Well, kind of with Agamotto, he makes your deck thicker, and then Red Skull, obviously, very big downside. So I think he rides on his body, and I think I'm curious if there's some card interaction with him that could be found that like, oh, this makes this a really legit card. I don't know, just off the top of my head, we had Jesse. He mentioned Shaw or Clea's another card that you want to buff multiple times. So I don't know. I'd be curious as to what you play in cohort with them.
I mean, Heart is in chat just screaming Maverick over and over again like a weirdo. Hi, Heart. Um,
Maverick's
so
very true.
so yeah, you could obviously hit Maverick with this and then trigger Maverick and make the card you play after this super huge. This is also going to be a really good turn 6 play because you can play it
Oh yeah.
with a second card. You don't have
Kitty.
to play it on turn 5. You play it generally with Kitty. Like it works with all those different Kitty decks I'd always want to play because it's each one you play 2 or more cards, so you don't have to do the exact 2 like you do Thena, right? So you can just play a bunch of cards on Hope. You can play a bunch of Elsa stuff. You can play a bunch of zombie stuff and still give it a huge buff, which seems like a reasonably good place to be. I think that this is going to be really, really solid end of game, like last turn play with cards like Kitty or Demon. I wouldn't be shocked if there's like a um, Kitty Hood like Thena package that this ends up wanting, sort of like that old Havoc deck, just with a different kind of finisher, where you're just like, all right, I can choose to play this first or second, and do like a lot of power. I hope this makes Kitty good enough because I love Kitty. I think everyone likes Kitty. Kitty's one of the cooler designs they've ever done. And then like they nerfed her sort of into obscurity. They nerfed everything she's ever been good with. And I would be very excited to see like Kitty be good again with this card.
Yeah, Kitty season would be really cool. I feel like with the package you're talking about, I could definitely see Jet doing something interesting with it where he's repeating
Hmm.
Shallow a bunch, blowing him up with Kid Omega and retaining the 10, bringing it back. I'd be curious if something like that could work out or maybe compete with the zombies deck he made.
I mean, like I know Wong is passe, right? But like Wong and Rocket on 5, and then this and Kitty on 6, and then you play like Kitty in a different lane, and you're just like, all right, great, I got like
Lazy.
plus 12 on my Kitty, right? And like that rocket probably made that other lane really, really hard to compete in. And you're just good to go.
And like buff Captain America, he said in chat, play in like a Scar deck. Like you could always buff something over 10 power and discount Scar even more. So maybe there's a home in like a Surtur deck or something.
Yeah, look, you might not even care in a Surtur deck if it's doing anything else, right? You just throw a Gladiator in there, and
Right.
once in a while you'll go 2-3 on 4. Sorry, 1-3 on 4, and then you'll just fucking make Gladiator a 10, and you're just like, all right, my Scar's cheap, great.
Yeah, this guy just gives 2 discounts. That could be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine him not being at least good. I think they've also just like managed to figure out what they want to do with 5 drops. I think that they know how to make good 5 drops now because every 5 drop they've made, like the last 7 or 8 in a row, have been really, really good cards.
Yeah, and just a 5/10 in itself is a great body to have on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the largest.
I mean, so sorta, right? Like, because they also just released Man Spider and Zombie Giant Man. Like,
Yeah.
they seem to be okay releasing big 5s, but they're gonna require something of you, which is like 6s can just be big, keyword big, and like 5s are big if you do the thing. So like I think that that's what sort of where they've landed on 5s, right? Like thing for steps. If you do the thing, he's like a lane winningly powerful 5. Even like he's bigger than his numbers because of his destroy. If you do the thing, this is going to be like a 516 to 520 something. Like there's 5s that do a thing.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of them are like build arounds.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm higher on this card than I think most people are. Also, he looks cool. I'll be happy to just play a giant freaking dragon a bunch.
I was just gonna say I like dragons, so this whole next season's nice on me, at least for the art.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the alt arts. I specifically haven't looked at the variants for this one because I think they're going to be awesome.
Or the animations.
Yeah, yeah. Although I'm not
They've
like,
been killing it on those.
yeah, this one looks like he's just literally hawking like a fire loogie instead of blowing out fire. Right? He's just like, here's a little bit of fire spit. Don't worry about it.
It is. It's like a pencil thin line.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Lockheed. To 1 end of turn, if you played a 1 cost card this turn, afflict an enemy card here with a -2 power.
I think this fits in the kitty decks, like we were just talking, give more
Mhm.
juice to that archetype. But end of turn is pretty scary with this in an
Mhm.
Invisible Woman first steps list. They already play 3 or 4 1 drops as is, so I'm pretty high on this card.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing, like saying, "Oh God, another end of turn thing that they can possibly throw in there that it kind of is an affliction side to it." And I also thought maybe like a bounce deck, bouncing hood, bouncing your demons, and kind of just keep afflicting that whole lane that this guy's in, and you could even bounce him and move him to a different lane after you afflict one lane.
I feel like there's very little reason to ever run Bruce Banner in an end of turn deck after this comes out.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, I agree. I already don't play
yeah.
Bruce.
Well, I assume you're running the Omega Sentinel versions. I'm still running the like Marvel Boy versions.
Fantastic car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fantastic Car Marvel
Yeah,
Boys.
I
I
like the
just
scent.
I just think like if we're in a points meta, right? Like I have to combo off to win with whatchamacallit with why can't I remember the name of Omega Sentinel? God. I have to combo off to him with Omega Sentinel. I don't have to combo off to him with the like Marvel Boy version. I can actually just win some games otherwise. And it goes taller when it goes tall. So I'm happier with that version. I think non-invisible woman Jocasta is a better home for oh my god, Omega Sentinel. I keep saying the name and then I keep losing the name in my head. I don't know what's happening. Omega Sentinel, Omega Sentinel, Omega Sentinel. So yeah,
Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
yeah. So for end of turn, I just
As
want to go
well.
like end of turn, right? Like I think it benefits from going all in. Sometimes you just play a bunch of end of turn one drops and you get like plus like 8, 12 power out of the Fantastic Car, and then Marvel Boy is giving you enough power to win. Whereas like I think that like the Omega Sentinel would rather be in a Surfer deck, would rather be in some other things that are trying to combo off different ways. But like either way, I could see this going in basically any Jocasta deck that's not Surfer, right? Like, the run a bunch of one drops deck in particular is just going to be so happy to have Lockheed. I play a one drop on the last turn with this, right? Or like this is out already. I play a one drop in Thena, and now this is going to give like -12.
If not more.
Yeah,
if not more. It's I mean maybe even in like a Thanos deck with all the one drop stones.
yeah. I think this is really good. I think people are going to sleep on this and regret it. Like they're just
Oh
releasing
yeah, definitely.
the biggest two drops ever. That's another point that they've like in their big power meta. Like they couldn't have released Chamber 3 months ago, right? They couldn't have like Wild Child as a 2/9. We would have been like a 2/9, that's humongous. And now they're just like, sure, we'll release a 2/12. Who cares?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty impressive, but I do like that now they're at least getting more specific compared to when we had the OG Mr. Fantastic First Steps, the OG Sam Wilson, the OG Iron Patriot, and they were just
Yeah,
in every single deck. I
agreed.
do like that they at least have an identity now.
Yeah, the game is definitely more identity focused than it has been in a long time. There's I don't want to say there's no such thing as a good stuff deck, but like there's also no such thing as a good stuff deck. Like
Yeah, it's
Th-
getting
And this,
exceedingly difficult.
that's Victoria Hand. Victoria Hand is
yeah,
a good stuff deck.
and this card to me feels incredibly flexible. It could go in a multitude of decks. It's like not just like one specific thing that you're thinking of.
Mhm. I mean, you're gonna trigger it like if you play it early enough, and obviously you have to play it early, but that's true of a lot of two drops. If you trigger this 3 times, you have a 2/7, and it does not seem hard to trigger 3 times.
Yeah, that's very true when you put it that way.
So it's just yeah, and then you can trigger it 17 times with Invisible Woman. So great. All right, I feel like that one's easy. Someone explained Dragon of the Moon to me. It's a 3/2 on reveal. Steal 1 power from all even costed cards in all hands. Why do I want to do this, and where do I want to do this?
I just like the art.
Great,
I think this is
great
the best
question.
dragon out of all of them.
Sure. Where you and you'll see it in your binder?
Yeah, that's about it, right?
Yeah, I really don't know what this guy's wanting from you. I mean, like maybe you play him in your Luke Cage Afflict deck, but like I'd rather just play Cassandra Nova
Yeah.
for
Yeah, this
similar
one to
effects.
me seemed like possibly the weakest of the entire season. Like, I mean, unless for some reason they show you like the cards that you stole the power from, which I don't think it's going to do that. Um, it doesn't seem very strong at all.
Whenever they release a card like this, I'm like, are they doing a commander format where we have like 4 players? Because that would make this awesome.
Oh, yeah, like in Magic, yeah. A lot
Oh
definitely a lot
yeah.
more even cards that way.
Right? Like if I'm stealing, if there's three opponents, all of a sudden this is amazing. But as long as there's only one opponent and you, this sucks.
Yeah, I could very easily picture you playing this guy and he hits like one card in your hand, maybe two in the opponent's, and it's like, eh.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm
Like
with
you took
3-5.
yeah, you took what? Yeah, 3-5. Yeah, for doing that. And that's kind of like a middling roll, I imagine. I imagine you could very easily get lower rolls than that.
Yeah. He's junk. Okay. I feel like not wasting time on Dragon Moon. I think this is like the only real miss of the month though. So
Hmm.
at least there's that. I'm so curious about this card. I one cost skills are really hard to evaluate. That's what the web swing taught me because I'm pretty sure web swing should have been great, and then it just was the 13th card and could not find play. So Wing Beast is a majestic wing beat, not wing beast, excuse me. Wing beat is a one cost spell. Um, I cannot tell what this art is at all. Someone can explain it to me after. It looks like a dragon with his head chopped off, maybe. Either way, on reveal, give the leftmost card in your hand +2 power. If it's a 5 or higher, give it -1 cost 2. Where am I playing this? Is this worth it?
The
I
where is a tough question.
Yeah, like
We
I thought of many, many, many decks you could throw it in. Like, I mean, Agatha is the first one that came to mind because she's always going to be leftmost, right?
Mhm.
And then, like, what if you have a fallen one as leftmost? Suddenly, it's a 4 cost that gives you 7. When you play it. So there's many things that want that power and that are 5 cost that you would love to have it for, like Sarah or Nimrod, or even like a Prof X, to get extra power to lock the lane down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty strong effect for the spell, and like Laser said, it is pretty hard to evaluate these one cost skills. I actually had it the other way. I looked at the web sling and I thought that was going to be kind of a dud, but with the zombie card, the one that gives +3 to the horde, I thought
Yeah.
that was going to be like kind of cut from the zombie decks before the season happened, and very wrong there. So yeah, it's a tough question. I've heard talk of people wanting to play this in their Red Wing style lists.
Yeah. I could see this like I don't know. I keep running headfirst into things. I could see this in that werewolf Annihilus deck that Ika has, where like just a one cost cheaper Annihilus is so good and it's a one cost skill that'll move around your werewolf. And like that deck also runs Cannonball and you're happy to get a cheaper Cannonball or Annihilus. And like outside of that it's just a way to like get +2 power and move your werewolf.
Yeah, an occasional ramp if you're playing a big enough deck.
Yeah.
Like any Hydro Man deck, I imagine this would also be pretty good in.
Yeah. I mean, look, you could also just throw it into Surfer, right? Like there's very little reason that just like Surfer is perfectly happy to be like, all right, I know I can guarantee a +2 to a card I want it on.
True, you could bring back Werewolf Surfer
Hmm.
as well.
Well, but even just like hitting a Brood, a Shaw, a Carter, and you're pretty happy. A Maverick, so Heart in chat doesn't have a heart attack.
I think he's a little excited for that.
Just a bit.
But like you hit any of those three cards and you're happy, and then if you're running Sarah, you're happy, right? So like 5 good hits out of Majestic Wingbeat seems like probably worth playing, or at least worth looking at.
Yeah, that's true. It could be that the buff side is the more important here. I mean, it's definitely gonna be the more consistent effect. You're always getting that compared to occasionally some ramp.
And it's only a Series 4 card, so it's a lot easier to spend the tokens on.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be
Uh,
a game mode card?
I don't think they released that yet.
I see. Yeah, I mean, if it's a game mode card, this is definitely a
I,
no-brainer. Go out and grind and get it.
I don't
It
think
looks like it could
so.
be pretty good.
I don't think so, but like I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I think this is just like they release the Series 4 at the start of seasons. I think this is the Series 4 at the start of the season.
I
Yeah,
see.
I think Dragon Lord was the limited time game mode card. It looks like according to Snaphan.
Dragon Lord?
Ah,
The hell is Dragon Lord?
That's a 5/5. Comes out on January
Oh, okay,
30th.
okay, okay. Oh, the end of the month one. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't got to it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. It's here. It's here. I was like, wait, huh? Okay, sorry, my bad. All right, let's keep
You
going
miss
then.
one? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that is here. Okay. Lin Lee Iron Fist. Besides looking like super stupid, his mask with his hair is super stupid. Sorry. He is a 2/2 on reveal. Add the sword of Fuzi to another location, and then the sword of Fuzi is a 2/2 that if Lin Lee Iron Fist is here, it has +7 power. So you can get it to
I'm
11,
kind of
but take up
excited
3
for this
spots.
guy.
Why?
I don't know. I just think he is going to be a payoff in interesting archetypes. Like maybe the more mid-rangey Madam Web decks kind of want him, but then I think more so, I'm excited to see what our good friend Doc Wapo is able to do,
Hmm.
bouncing this guy, and then you just
Multiple
play him,
Fuzis.
bounce him, play him, bounce him, and you put him where you put the swords at the end of the game.
Do
I
that.
didn't even think about the bounce part. That's pretty clever.
Well, he could only get +14, only, quote unquote, only get +14 that way, right? Because that'd be a full location.
Yeah, and it is random, which well, I guess he can get plus 21
No,
if
you can get
3
three
swords
swords,
stack in the
at
same
him.
lane.
Yeah, yeah, that'll
But
probably
yeah,
work.
that's gonna be weird because it's random which lane the sword goes to.
Hmm.
Yeah. My thought was thing first steps.
Just a free body.
Like if you can just get him into that lane, right? Like Madam Web is often in those decks anyway, the Irish shells,
Yeah.
and then there's like you just have an extra body for thing first steps. It's like if for that combo, it's better Sam Wilson.
Yeah, or you run this and Sam Wilson and you never there's never a struggle to have a
Yeah,
full lane.
yeah. Dazzler is all of a sudden like really solid too, then, right? Because you're gonna fill your board
Yeah,
at
and
that point.
the sword is the ability on the sword is an ongoing one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. 2 cost ongoing.
Yeah, so that could be possibly an ongoing thing.
Yeah. This seems like it's
Huh.
like I'm not sure how good this is, but this is at least really interesting.
Yeah, I always love when they have these Sam Wilson-esque
Hmm.
cards with just a lot of hooks in them. I love to deck build, and there's just like so many questions being asked to you here of how you're gonna make this guy, how you're gonna make his condition work and synergize and fit with the other 11 cards you pick. So I'm excited to see what shakes out with him.
My guess is he's probably
It's
not good, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum, it's going to make you think and
Hmm.
possibly try a different deck or a different way of doing something.
I mean, I would take 100 of these before another Weapon H, right? Like this might not be good, but
Yeah,
it's at least interesting. It at least asks you to play the game in interesting ways and think about like what you're doing on the board instead of just like I play card that says discard. I play card that says discard. I have big number. Yay! Like I think that this is much
Yeah,
more interesting. I wonder. I mean,
yeah, he is.
yeah. Again, I wish he didn't look stupid.
yeah, it is kind of a different art. I wonder if there's any variants that are going to be any better.
I mean, they have to be. Like the mask and his hair are
I don't
just.
know.
I don't know why they bother me, but I really hate them. It's like if they
The
took.
mask does look a little scrunched on his nose.
It's like they
Yeah,
took Nightwing's design and made it as ugly as possible. Hey, Tetatonic. Right.
I'm kind of wondering if this guy might be like I'm with you guys that I don't think he'll be very good. Like the payoff seems kind of low, but then I think about Chamber and I'm like, that card's mostly just a 2/9, and this guy's mostly just a 2/9 if you're able to make his condition work. So I wonder if he could be a little bit of a sleeper.
Well, it'll be a 211, right? Because Fuzi will be in that lane also.
Oh, 2/2, yeah, yeah.
So like it'll be a 211. So that's really big. It's just how like he's a gameplay challenge and Chamber is a deck building challenge.
Yeah,
You
Chamber does not ask like anything of you.
Yeah, Chamber's just like you play a deck that he goes in and then you suddenly have a 2-9 or a 213. He was a 213 yesterday against me. That was a feel good moment. But like Chamber just you play the deck he goes in and it's done. Lin Lee, you have to choose to use him, and then you have to choose like he has to be the thing you want to move over something else.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it'll be like what's going to be the minimum package? Like Hellion, Madam Web, maybe.
Hellion, Madam Web, and
We'll see.
then you're also running Craven and Punk. Because at that point you might as well, and you're probably running Sam.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is not terrible. Like, look, you move Craven, Lin Lee, and the stupid sort of Fuzi into a lane. You probably won that lane with Hellion there.
Yeah, most definitely. That might be an overcommitment unless you're
Yeah,
running the goat Juggernaut.
yeah. Well, that's obviously you'd be yes. That is how you win another lane in those decks. Yes, you do that, and then you play Juggernaut. This, like, if you can get this right, this can be better, Sam. But it's going to be hard to get right. It's
It'll be a challenge.
really good for Prio.
Very true.
If you play this on two, you get
Yeah,
two
because
twos
when
across two lanes. Yeah,
so you play him and you get more power like across the two lanes, just minimum. So
Darkhawk.
We could see it. Yeah, we could see a Suji deck with it,
Mhm.
possibly. I don't know.
Yeah,
Terrax.
Terrax. Oh, oh, worth looking at. All right, let's keep. Oh, my wife is awake. Let's keep going to Fin Fang Foom. Uh, the most Hella card they've helled since Hella. 7/12
yeah,
on reveal. Gain power of the front row enemy cards here. Oh, Hella wants a 7 cost Infinite. Hi, 7 cost Infinite.
Pack your Stardust. That's all I have to say for
right.
this week.
Yep. Hopefully
This
you bought
guy's so
Stardust.
huge.
And that art, the nose looks a little too human for me.
Really? I mean, that's basically my nose, so it's fine. I've got the Fing
It
Fang.
looks
I've got a
doesn't look
Fing
like a
Fang for
dragon,
this.
you know.
Got a Fing Fang.
Uh,
My problem is there's no purple underpants. It's not Fing Fang Foom if there's not purple underpants.
is that canon?
I mean, he's like almost always wearing purple underpants because
This is
I
my first
mean,
time seeing him when he got data mined, and then all around the community, it was becoming a bit of a meme. The Fing Fang Foom. We had Husky. He streamed like 24 hours. It was just a picture of Fing Fang Foom. He had some weird issue going on. He didn't mean to do it, but just added to the comedy.
um, there's no way this card isn't broken in Hella though, right? Does it go anywhere else?
Uh,
I mean, it would
uh,
go with Majestic Wing Beat, right? If you can hit it and reduce it.
Sure.
yeah, maybe in like a Red Wing deck where you're already trying to cheat out an Infinite. Just Infinite 2, like you said.
Wiccan with absorbing man, it says heart. I don't think I'm
I don't
doing
think
that. No.
his text is that good to be absorbing Manning.
I think he
But
might.
hit 7/12 with that text, yeah.
I
Or
think
5 with that text, eh.
I think he might go in Arisham. I think he might just be big enough. I guess not, because if Blob
Yeah.
doesn't go, then why bother with him?
This guy's almost just bigger than Blob at baseline. Blob's what? He
Sure,
goes till he hits 13?
sure, but you can play Blob on 5.
5. Very true.
Like
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
that'd
think
be
it's
this
worth.
guy's problem
Yeah, I don't
is,
know.
yeah, if you're playing him for 7 energy, you're not contesting another lane.
Right. Professor X. If we ever, if move actually goes away properly, Professor X a lane, Fing Fang Foom wins another. I'm pretty sure he's a lane winner.
He's definitely a lane winner.
The 7 cost Sage. This guy's just giant.
Yeah.
Giant, pack your Stardust because this is gonna be a lot of Hella, a lot of Ghost Rider.
Yeah, yeah, an awful lot. I expect an awful lot of Red Wing. I think we are gonna Red Wing.
Blink, yeah.
Yeah, you just blink into it. Yeah, yeah. Ugh, gross. All right, Fing Fang Foom is awesome in very very problematic ways, but I'm happy to see Red Wing back. I think anything that starts to put the meta in order is probably a good thing at this point.
I agree, and kind of in a weird way, like the more out of order it gets, the more in order it gets. Like if everybody's just doing hella and cheating stuff,
Hmm.
it's very easy to tech against what you're gonna be seeing a lot of, compared to now where it's like everything's different.
By the way, Fing Fang Foom is why our variant of the week is our variant of the week, which you two know, but the others do not. The chat and the viewers do not. Because I think that those two cards are going to be actually reasonably interesting. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm. What's the next one?
Okay. The most
Oh,
the most broken card they've ever released. It like look,
the
so I'm gonna read this. We're gonna talk about what it does, and then I've got an important question. 3/4 Series 5 game start. The 10 rings start in your hand. On reveal, unlock their potential. And we know what their potential is now, I think, right? Uh 10 rings, 2/0. End of turn, give one of your other cards here +1 power. So like you just start the game with the 10 rings in hand. You can play Shang-Chi to make it do something more than its regular end of turn. And that something more is give all cards here +1 power.
Oh, I didn't know what their potential was. Now I know.
Ap-
So that
ap- ap-
makes it.
ap-
Now I understand why.
Well, it doesn't even need that, but apparently it consumes a draw, which is fine according to data mines. Like, thank God it consumes a draw. But like, okay, like I play domino in some things. I would rather play this than domino 100% of the time because this gives me a 3 drop also,
that
right?
you could use with synergy.
Yeah, that you could then play this with um Sebastian Shaw. You can play this with Clea. You can play this with any of the
Carter,
Carter, any of the good surfer cards, right? Maverick, um, just because let's save Heart's energy and say Maverick. You can play this. This makes Wiccan Curve really, really easy. Um, this seems. I don't know how to say this seems insane, except this seems insane. Like this is the like as excited as Heart is about Maverick. I think this is a significantly better surfer card than even Maverick. And like, I'm not even 1,000% sure that that's the best home.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's the easiest one to think of at first.
Yeah,
yeah, this guy is just gonna be. He's just gonna be nuts. I look at him, I see Sam Wilson as far as like interesting card, covers a lot of ground, has so many hooks that people are just gonna continue to find. This guy's gonna be quite crazy, but I do like that he's gonna be kind of a good cards crazy. Like we were talking about earlier, that Surfer could use a lot of love,
yeah.
and this guy is gonna synergize with every Surfer deck. And I'm a little more scared if he does do a big upgrade to the Wiccan deck, because we all know how those like to skew towards just running every tech card
Good.
together.
Let's go. Welcome back. Put the meta in order.
Possibly it might happen, but I am happy to hear that he consumes a draw. Hopefully that's true, because if not, this guy's just completely insane.
Okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't consume a draw, it's got to be brought down a bit. I think.
I mean, I think like A, he has to. B, I don't. I think that people are overestimating how much that matters. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, he's still gonna be good regardless.
um,
Extremely good.
ready? We've been wrong about a lot of cards before. A lot of times when we think a card is completely broken, we're wrong. Yeah. War Machine. Um, there was
Oh
a
yeah, I was
there was
high
a
on that guy, Grandmaster.
Grandmaster. There was a recent example too. Ooh, Tucker says we
Everyone
want
was
Shuri
down
Kitty.
on everyone was down on Cannonball before he came out. That's kind of the other side of it, but
Yeah, yeah. I was high on Cannonball, but that's fine. I've
that's true.
Cannonball and Legion were my like big like everyone thought they sucked, and I was like, no, 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 these cards are good. I'm wrong plenty, just for the record. Sometimes I'm wrong and ever like I thought some card that everyone thought was going to be great, I thought was going to suck and it ended up being great, but whatever, it happens. Um, yeah, whatever. Either way, I'm gonna try and think of that card for the next 20 minutes. Fire Hair, we were all wrong
Well,
on. Yeah, we thought Fire Hair was gonna be broken, and it's finally good, but it's certainly not broken. There's a million of them. So, all right, how are we wrong about this card potentially? How is this card just okay? No one thought Sam Wilson was going to be completely fucking broken, just for the record. We all thought it would be good. No one thought it was going to be that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the world where he's not super broken. Maybe it's just if those archetypes still can't keep up. If we keep trending the way we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, they might not be able to put up enough power still, even with it.
I can see that being the problem. Like, you try and you play this, and you're just like, I did the thing, and then the opponent's just like, cool, here's 70 points, eat it.
Yeah, I did double your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is still susceptible to Shadow King
Shadow
too.
King.
Deafening chord. I mean, if they're using their deafening chord on my stupid 2-0, I guess I'm probably okay.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going to be interesting to see what he does when he comes out because this seems like we're talking about him like it's in one of the release Wilson worlds where good cards were kind of dominant, but right now
Hmm.
we're in the combo meta where if you just are scaling up a Clea or a Captain Carter, that's ultimately kind of fair Marvel Snap at the end of the day.
So let's say we're scaling up a Shaw for argument's sake. The end of turn 3, Shaw becomes a 7. The end of turn 4, Shaw becomes a 10. Uh, then 13, then 16. So we have a 16 power Shaw. I'm assuming we can get one more buff through Surfer, right? So another 4. That's a 320. Is that
Yeah, that is
broken?
really good.
Is that broken? Is the question, right? Like, is that's really good? Is it broken nowadays?
I don't know. I think what might be broken is Maverick with this guy being able to multiply it
Uh,
across multiple cards.
Shang and Jory keeps saying Human Torch. I'm not sure if I see that.
Yeah, I don't know if I do either. That'd be asking a lot for a move archetype.
Yeah,
Hybrid.
I'm not sure if I can fit it in. Is my concern. Like, I'm just playing Human Torch on turn 3 and letting it sit there for a turn, and then I'm moving it out of there, and
And
it's only got one buff, and now I've got a 3/3 torch, but I wasted my first 3 turns.
Is there any world where it fits into an end of turn deck since the rings itself is end of turn?
Um,
hmm.
I mean, maybe, right? Like, what do you are you playing your Jocasta in that lane then? I
Yeah,
guess.
something like that, and then that whole lane just goes nuts.
Well, but now you have to play Shang, and you don't have a space. You don't have time to play Shang.
True, true, yeah.
I don't know.
Huh.
Like, I can see the potential downside. I hope this is insane. I love Shang-Chi. I talked about it in at the end of today's video. Like, Shang-Chi is one of my favorite Marvel characters. It's also one of my favorite Marvel movies. I loved the Master of Kung Fu comic when I was a kid. Like, I think Shang is super cool. Mostly because he's Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee is super cool. But like, yeah, big fan. You could Prodigy the thing. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you could project it.
This feels like if Maverick makes Surfer great, this is gonna make Surfer one of the best decks. And if Maverick is just okay for Surfer and really good elsewhere, this is gonna just be okay. I think. Like, I think the more I
Yeah,
think
I
about
think.
it, what I really want to do is Wiccan or Surfer.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where my mind goes to every time I look at this card as well.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think I want to do Clea stuff. I don't think that's where I want my like plays to be.
No, but I am gonna try that and play that
I
anyways
mean,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah, oh,
fun.
100%. Yeah, that's a werewolf deck, and werewolf decks are amazing.
Yeah, no, I think the best scalers with this are Maverick, probably then Shaw, then Carter. If I had to rank them,
I can see this being fairly decent with Torch first steps.
Torch first steps.
Shang does not need to
Yeah,
reveal before the rings kick in. If you just play the
Yeah,
rings,
Torch first steps is true.
the end of turn happens. It the potential has to be unlocked for Shang to reveal. That's for it to affect every card. Yeah, I could see this being like the thing that finally makes Torch first steps decent.
That would be a breath of fresh air. I was pretty high on that card when he first came out, and he kind of ended up being
It did.
mediocre at best. Yeah, definitely a dud. But yeah, that's strong with him. Again, you're doubling the buffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Maverick is good with original Shang. I don't think I agree with that at all. Part, but that's fine. Uh, I don't know. I think this is going to be really, really good. But I'm more worried because we're often wrong when we think things are completely insane.
Very
Oh,
true. I guess we'll just have to see.
yeah. Like recently, Ika and Toxie thought that Superior would be the most broken card in the game. And like
Interesting.
I think it's really important to remember that like 6 months ago they might have been right. I think we often underestimate how much Marvel Snap has changed.
Yeah, I think in that context is the only way I think this card
Hmm.
is not as good as we're reading into.
I really want Surfer to be good again. Surfer is so fun. Marvel Snap is a better game when Surfer is good.
Agree.
Like
Yeah,
I
almost
mean, I
I love
already
this.
called for it earlier. Surfer buffs, standard afflict buffs. I miss when those decks were mid-rangey and able to compete.
I don't think your Afflict is ever going to matter again. Ajax.
Uh, Probably
Your
not.
problem is Ajax isn't big enough.
No, he's really not. That's why I was calling for like US Agent. I think could maybe do something for that deck, but even still, not that much. US Agent was in a Doom 2099 world when he was stupid good and had to eat a bunch of nerfs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you put US Agent back, we can talk. That's fair. But like, I just think like Ajax is the big payoff. Ajax being like a 17 to 22 power card. That's like cute and all, but I have plenty of ways to get to that power without dedicating my whole deck to it and get multiple cards that big now.
Yeah,
This card is.
true that.
Wait a second. Okay, so this makes the fucking. Oh my god. This makes. Okay, this is officially good. What is the name of that card? This makes Spider-Man Noir really consistent.
Why do you say that?
You have a 2-drop and you run Makari.
You could already do that with Domino though.
Sure, but now I'm playing good cards instead.
True. Yeah, it could be a noir build a surfer that does get popular. We already saw Smalls and other people experimenting with that.
I mean, that deck was good. It just wasn't quite big enough. Like you add Maverick and Shang to that, and I think it's big enough.
That'd be cool. I'd be all for that. I think they killed it with the recent buff to Noir.
Yep, yep. It took an absolutely dead card and made it borderline meta, and I think it will be meta eventually. I
Oh
like it
yeah, and
better.
it's just extremely cool,
I think it's better than Gwenpool and Surfer right now.
which
I
is
love it in
sad.
server.
I feel like Gwenpool and Galacta and Zabu they died for the 4-cost tech card sins.
Yeah, yeah, we can put those back now. Like we could totally just give Gwenpool back her power. We can give Galacta back 3 power. The meta would change, but like I don't think it would be significantly worse. There's so many more points now.
No, I
Yeah,
think
it
it would
would. It
just
would.
help the decks that are struggling catch back up, like the Surfers. Like it's crazy that we're here saying with a straight face, Noir, which is one buff to your top deck, is better than a Galacta or a Gwenpool.
Jesse?
Yeah, putting them back would make so many more decks possibly relevant,
Yeah. I don't know.
and just a small change, would do that.
All right. Let's actually move on for a quick second to the last card of the season. This was a shorter season. Uh, Jesse, could you read Dragon Lord while I type in the creator program?
Sure. So it's a 5/5. It's I think it's the limited type game mode one according to the leaks. It's on reveal. Put a card from your hand here. Which the first thing I think of it's a one time only Isan type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, an Easton type ability is what I imagine for this. I feel like this guy's just begging to be played in your ramp deck, in your Hella deck, in your um Red Wing deck. I think he's gonna be
Mhm.
pretty solid. Like 5/5 isn't the biggest body, but time and time again, this put a card from your hand here has been a very strong card. It's like one of my when I've played the Infinity Ultron build of Hela, like that stone that does this
Hmm.
effect is really, really strong. I mean, given it's
Yeah, and
at 2 costs instead of 5, but yeah, I'll give it to Jesse now.
yeah, I mean, you see what Isan is capable of doing, right? And you have another card like that in kind of a similar type deck. I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I do think it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna be as big of a buff as Fing Fang Foom is to
No,
those decks. That card just seems crazy, but this guy is maybe gonna go hand in hand in enabling that.
It's hard for you to imagine this not being good in like Red Wing, Dracula, Dumpy decks. Like, I hope this brings back like real Dracula dump. That would be so cool.
I hope so too, but I feel like it'll end up just being better off in ramp or in regular Danish Hella.
Yeah, I could see that. Look, I just think it's got my son is dancing with a reindeer in front of me for some reason, a stuffed reindeer. Sorry, in the middle of my sentence, I was like, "What the hell?" Okay. Um, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Back to Dragon Lord. He also looks extremely stupid. I would like to note, but he's
I was just gonna say that too.
it's so hard for me to imagine him not being good. We just have so many big ramp decks. Like if I play him in my chamber lane and then trigger chamber, I feel like, or like trigger chamber the next turn, I feel like we're doing pretty well.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you're always left with cards in hand in that deck.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got to think too, it's limited time game mode, so it's gonna be easy for people to get it.
Yep. Um. Also, people should play more Hydro Man. Sorry, I know that's not this card, but like this card with Hydro Man seems really good to me.
Yeah, imagine a final turn Hydro Man card and this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or this is the like reverse, right? Like this gets hit by Hydro Man, and all of a sudden this costs one.
Yeah.
Like it's just that kind of thing seems insane to me. Like, and people
Oh, it
moved on.
definitely is gonna feel it.
Yeah, people moved on from Hydro Man too quickly. The other version, I'm not 1,000% sure is better.
The
Um,
other version of
the Smiles stuff.
oh yeah, the Infinite version
Oh,
versus
mhm.
the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Like I
Yeah,
just,
I was even playing Hydro Man and Danish Hella over
yeah,
top of I don't even think over top anything. Um, I think it's at like the Grandmaster flex spot, and the one flex spot I just put in this the Hydro Man card, and my backup game plan was Corvus, Hydro Man, Odin the Hydro Man,
yeah. Seems fine to
just
me.
cheat really hard.
Like Hydro Man's a good card, man. Like people just people like if it's a limited time game mode, I think people sort of train themselves to not really think of those cards as good. But Hydro Man is good, and I think Dragon Lord is good.
Yeah, definitely don't sleep on him. I mean, Batroc, he was a limited time game mode card, and
Hmm.
he's the staple of an archetype. So they're not shy to put powerful things here.
Yeah, fair enough. Final Dragon Lord thoughts or final season thoughts, Jesse?
I think it's a pretty average season. Doesn't feel to me too overpowered like previous seasons have. Like
Like
there's
the
some really
current
good
season.
cards in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's some really good cards in here, and then you have Dragon of the Moon. That's like, where is that even gonna go? But to me, it's a lot of cards that make me personally think a little bit of different decks and not like, okay, this card is a direct swap of a different card in an already powerful deck. They make me think of, oh, what other decks can I build with these cards and add them to it instead of, just like direct swap. But other than Dragon of the Moon, I think all the cards are pretty cool.
Hmm, cool.
Yeah, as an overall there, I'm that's the only card I'm not excited for, same as Jesse. But just to reiterate what he said, there are some cards here that are going to be asking some really cool deck building challenges of players. So I'm really excited to see how those shake out and what unique ways they get used. And then outside of those two cards, the Iron Fist and the Shang-Chi, I think to expect a lot of end of turn with the 2/1 that we're getting, and then expect a lot of Hella. This Dragon Lord and Fing Fan Foom are probably both going in that deck, and it's going to be very, very strong.
Yeah, like you said, pack your Stardusts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stardust for this too. I think that this season is exciting. I mean, like, there's probably a little too much Hella stuff, but like, even if Dragon Lord is just the ramp decks and not the Hella decks for a while, right? I think that this is just interesting decks. The ramp decks, I think, are the only interesting decks right now. Like, period. Everything else is just sort of solved. Um, that's part of why I've seemed so down on the game. It's just I thrive on new decks and change, and so much of it's just like, here's the same decks, and like, at least the ramp decks are new, and so like, I'm excited for that to continue to develop through the season. Hopefully Surfer comes back between Maverick and Shang. We get some new Wiccan things. I think this is my favorite season in a long time. This is the season I'm most excited for, even if I'm not sold it's going to matter, because almost everything makes us try to build different decks and put things in different shells, and I'm all about that life.
I agree, and just to give, I know there's been some negativity towards SD and the team, but just to give him a little bit of love, I will say this last OTA was perfect,
Home run.
as it had all the things that we're talking about here that make this season look interesting and look fun. It had all those in the balance changes. So if they could get more towards that side of OTAs consistently compared to the two
Hmm.
prior, I believe were pretty much just +1 -1s, pretty boring. If we could have that and start sustaining some of that, I'm very optimistic for how fun this game's going to be, and how interesting deck building will be, and playing climbing the ladder.
It feels like a really good final
Yeah, we
thought.
need more.
Oop, nope, go ahead.
We
Take
need
it.
we need more OTAs like we had, like we just had. Take big swings at a lot of the decks that are dominant.
You heard it here first. Make 2026 Marvel Snap Noir. The hell? Why is my intro
Do
stuck
it.
there? Ignore that. Instead, variant of the week. Uh, who is the Chinese New Year Swordmaster?
That was me.
Tell us why you picked it.
I mean, it kind of goes along with the next season that's coming. Is I like dragons, so that one just always stood out to me. It's as soon as I got it, it's the only one I really used, just because it perks my dragon love.
Yeah, Fing Fang Foom's best friend. I really like that
Hmm.
one. That's the one I used to. Um, we also have Standing with the Sword Down in the Wind from Cougar.
Yeah, I think this guy is just aura farming in the in this pose. Shang-Chi looks really, or not Shang-Chi, my bad. Swordmaster, he looks really cool here. And kind of a funny coincidence that we just talked about the OTA, and then this guy. I really wish he was more playable. I think the most fun I've ever had with this card is Jet Phoenix Force, the one
I remember
discarding a bunch of swarms and generating hoods. Such a fun deck, and probably one of the few times where I've actually played a lot of this guy.
that. I picked one that I don't believe is out yet. And the reason I picked this one is because it looks like a JRPG protagonist casting a fire spell.
It
This is
100%
Yeah,
does.
this
definitely
is
does.
what your generic JRPG protagonist when you get that green sword in the mid game, and he's casting like his generic mid game fire spell right at you, putting his sword down to cast his fire spell, and I'm all about that. Like, he's even got the stupid collar that doesn't make any sense, because like, it looks like a scarf in every other picture, but it just looks like that like generic weird JRPG collar that no one ever wears in real life here, and it's amazing.
It is pretty awesome.
So
I just played my first JRPG recently. I played Expedition 33 was my first
Oh,
one
what a
outside of like the
game!
Pokemon games and
I,
all that.
I need to play
What a
it.
game!
I have 10
You haven't
million.
played?
So I just don't have time to play a full JRPG. Your next
That's
one
fair.
should almost certainly be Metaphor ReFantazio.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, if you liked Expedition, like, it's more anime-ish, but you'll still really like it. It should be your next one.
I see. I appreciate the recommendation.
Enjoy it. JRPGs are my favorite archetype. If I should have been a JRPG channel. That's why I like Raid so much. Everyone's like, "Why do you like Raid so much?" I'm like, "Cause it's just turn-based battles, man. I love my old like turn-based battles where you do some basic strategy and I have a good time." Give me a little bit of story, and I'm a happy man. But yeah, JRPGs rule. Swordmaster, really cool card, but still probably not very good. Fing Fang Foom though, there's some hope.
That's true. That's true. I was just talking when I was on Tucker and Not My
Mm-hmm.
Dances podcast, and
Marvel,
before we
yeah.
were trying to cook up Weapon H decks, and we were all like looking at this guy, and it just sucks that all the other discard options, Blade and Lady Sif, they're all odd costed too.
Mm-hmm.
Modoc. It's like you're just hitting the cards that you want to keep in hand
Yep.
most of the time.
Yep. But it works better for Fin Fang Foom because you can just run that as a Black Knight. I only have to discard one thing.
True. Running in the dummy builds of Hella.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. I hope this gets played. It's a cool card, and then JRPT. Get my hoodie. Carla just took out my favorite hoodie from the box from New York that hasn't existed here, and now I have my favorite hoodie back. It's got like holes in the pockets and it smells like shit, but I love it. Uh, all right, it's really old. It's like 8 years old, and I wore it every day for like 2 years. All right, whatever. Neither here nor there. Got my hoodie. This is the hoodie for those of you who can see. See hoodie. All right. Remember to follow Cougar. Cougar, why should people follow you?
They should follow me for some insights into high level gameplay and deck building and decision making. Definitely want to click the notification bell because while I don't go live too often, when I do, I'm there for 4 hours, pretty longer sessions. And like I said, at the top of Infinite, I'm currently sitting in the top 10 as we speak.
Oh, well, I haven't been sent to deck, so I don't believe you're top 10 right now. Uh, Something should have happened that didn't. So Cougar is clearly ranked 11 right now. You should follow him. He's great. He's gonna stream once a week, but you're gonna get your money's worth. Like, just be there. Part of the joy of him streaming once a week is it becomes like a little event, and a lot of the community's there. It's a really great time. One of the best deck builders players, and one of the nicest guys around. Please make sure you're following Cougar. Double the O, triple the R in order to spell his name. Jesse, why should people follow you?
They should follow me because I'm a new streamer and you should support new streamers. I like to play around with, like I said, some meta decks and sub in some different things, and try to educate people on the game. Try to kind of at it from like a kind of a new player perspective, and try to get people more into the game and get new players playing so the game can keep going and growing.
So, for a newer streamer, these are genuinely really high level takes. Like, just great analysis all episode long. This is the kind of person you want to follow. Someone who's going to give you really educated, smart takes. Make sure you're following Jesse. I was wildly impressed today. Um, we have a lot of people on this podcast. I think Jesse did absolutely amazingly. Just genuinely really understands the game at a high level. And that, again, that's the kind of person you should be following, especially when it's a new streamer, because these are the ones we want to keep around, friends. Make sure you're following Jesse Hoagie. That's JESSEHOGI, with you just Hoagie spelled wrong despite what he said at the start of the video.
HOGIE.
I don't know how to spell. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I spelled it extra wrong. Patreon.com/snap judgments is how you can support the channel a little bit extra if you're willing to. I'm going to say thank you to a bunch of people as fast as I possibly can. Thank you to Jonesy Step 22, Abigail, Mentor, Burn, LB, Inc., I'm Frostman, choking. Iron Frostman, Iron Cloak, Colton Evertate, Prime Ryan, Ryanberg, Ryanwood, Snap, Ren Wrench, Vera Group Math, Gopher Kev, Caretix Lee, Corey, Kazushi, Arhindo 3K, Black Die, Pyrophros, Go Seeker Code, Hollow Synth, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, 30 Casual, Dark Morgul, Mr. Ruffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny Larks, The Digital, The Best, Black Sheep is 23, Skippy G, Jessica Apple, Slush, The King Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kev Seota, Colt, Clam, Colonel Foreman, David, Moo, Wingfield, Stephen Brown, Carpenter, Jason Martin, Jason B, Matt B, William, Billy, Nix, Rayshon Smith, Charles, Frankie Watchman, Corman, John Q, Jimmy, give you a start, Age 1 Big Man, Catch X, Devo, Yo, Marco, Ted Pro, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe. Please check out the Snap Decisions podcast if you have not, friends. Biggity Boom Bop, Bricks to Click, Aku, Ocularis Green, Goblin Flan, Fix Spectrumix, Hoot, Rip Hoop, Only Fox, Matt H, DJ, Mike Isaac, No Freaking Flex, Nick, Doug, Greeky, Hi Nick, Toxic Soul King, Zodric 74, Hi Zod, Kinga, Canada, JJ, who's actually now King Amnesty, Deadman Falcon, Father Newman, Two Ties, The Great Lauren Redevs, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. That's it for this episode. Say bye, Cougar.
Bye bye.
Say
That's
bye.
I want to say the C stands for that's always impressive. How fast he goes through those.
You practice every day, you get fast. Uh, Say bye, Jesse.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Peace and love, everybody.